enjoy all the music prepared, and here's Christy Morrison.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, students, and distinguished musicians. Tonight, we gather to celebrate an extraordinary milestone, Oskar Knoblauch's 100th birthday. A century of life is a rare gift, and Oskar's journey is one of courage, survival, and hope. As a Holocaust survivor, he has witnessed the depths of humanity, yet his spirit remains bright, resilient, and full of love. Tonight, through music, we honor his story, his strength, and the beauty he continues to bring into our world. Let us listen with our hearts, feel the echoes of a life lived fully, and celebrate the extraordinary gift of Oskar. 100 years of memory, courage, and joy. We begin with our first piece entitled Kawartha Sunrise. Kawartha Lake, whose name means Lake of Shining Waters, holds a special place in Oskar's heart, as he has always loved the beauty and tranquility of nature. Before the music begins, I invite you to listen to a poem I wrote which inspired the composition for flute and piano. This calm lake awakens my senses with her sunrise reflecting in the water's mirror. Fresh air cleanses my mind. My thoughts are untangled in quietness. There is no one awake. The call of the loon in the distance is heard from the water's edge. There is no hurry. Mind, body, and soul are one and the same, at a distance and close by, where in this moment everything makes sense because life is a gift that my Kawartha Sunrise slowly unwraps. As Marcia plays on the flute and Mutsumi on the piano, they will bring this scene to life. Allow yourself to breathe deeply, feel the calm, and imagine the gift of a day unfolding slowly as life's simple joys reveal themselves, just as they have for Oskar over a century of days. Ladies and gentlemen, Kawartha Sunrise. entitled Mirror, Mirror, I composed to celebrate the power of a smile. Whenever I hear this piece performed, I think of Oskar, our 100-year-old Holocaust survivor who has shared his story and his smile with countless thousands of students. Oskar, with a twinkle in his eye and his characteristic humor, often has been heard to tell students, "Just smile. It will improve your looks 100%. Behind the laughter lies a deeper truth. Oskar's wise words have proven that a smile lifts hearts, spreads joy, and carries hope, strength, and goodness. That he believes we all hold inside and are capable of sharing with the world. Tonight, as our talented 8th grade soprano, Olivia McConnell, will be singing a song that was inspired by Oskar's smile and carries his message of wisdom. We will listen to the music, and may we be challenged and reflect on how many times over a century Oskar's smile has been reflected in the mirror of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Olivia for the solo Mirror, Mirror.
Mirror, mirror by the kitchen sink, is my smile now in sync? Is my nose exactly right now that there's no light? And the mirror said, "Your smile is something so beautiful. It holds a lot of charm and can't cause any harm. Your smile is sunshine at its best. Wear it every day until you rest. It's more valuable than gold. It cannot be bought or sold. Your smile has a warmth so true, proven to create a happiness in the hearts of me and you. Never doubt your smile.
both a composer and a teacher, I've devoted my life to helping young people feel history, not just learn it, but to connect with it, human to human, heart to heart. My trilogy, Lost Echoes of Hope, was born out of that calling and out of a moment that forever changed my life. In 2006, I walked through Auschwitz. Standing on those railroad tracks, surrounded by silence, I felt the weight of absence. The air itself seemed to hold the voices of those who were never allowed to speak again. And in that silence, the first melodies began. Whispers of stories that needed to be told, not just through textbooks, but through music, through empathy, through sound. The first piece that you will hear tonight, Echoes from the Rails, is dedicated to Jack Adler, a survivor whose strength and grace continue to inspire me today. Jack once shared his final words that his father spoke to him on one of those trains. He said, "You must survive and rise again." In the music, you'll hear the screeching of metal wheels, unsettling, almost an unbearable sound. That harsh rhythm is not accidental. It represents the trains that carried millions away from their homes, their families, and their lives. The sound is intentionally unpleasant, a musical portrayal of fear, uncertainty, and the beginning of something far worse to be endured. Against that sound rises the heartbeat of survival, the echo of Jack's father's words, "Son, you must survive. Son, you must rise again." The second work, Hope Through Butterfly Shadows, honors three remarkable women, Rachel Bash, Clara Grossman, and Charlotte Edelman, each of whom endured the unimaginable life in a ghetto, in a concentration camp, and hidden away in a dark basement. Yet, even in that darkness, they held on to something fragile and luminous, hope. Like the shadow of a butterfly, delicate yet enduring, their courage reminds us that even when the light seems lost, the human spirit still finds a way to shine. And the final piece, Lost Nursery Rhymes of Innocent Children, tells the story of Janusz Korczak, the beloved Polish doctor and educator who refused to abandon his Jewish orphans in his care, instead chose to accompany them to the gas chambers in Treblinka. In this music, you'll hear echoes of lullabies that might have been sung, and playground songs that were never finished, the lost rhythms of innocence. This piece is also dedicated to Oskar, who is with us tonight. Oskar is a survivor of the Holocaust, and at the end of this month, he will celebrate, as you know, his 100th birthday, born on November 27, 1925. Like Janusz Korczak, Oskar has dedicated his life to teaching, sharing his story with thousands and thousands of students, spreading a message of tolerance, kindness, hope, and no place for hate. His book, A Boy's Story, A Man's Memory, tells his remarkable journey and can be purchased tonight directly from him or on Amazon. Oskar's life stands as a living testimony to resilience, faith, and the power of education, and we are deeply honored to be able to share these moments with him tonight. All of the survivors whose stories inspired my compositions, their voices, their memories, and their interviews can be heard and found at the Arizona Jewish Historical Society website under Arts and Artifacts. Their words continue to educate, to heal, and to remind us why remembrance matters. Together, these three works form a journey from suffering to resilience, from darkness to light, and from memory to moral responsibility. As a teacher, I share this music with your students, not only to help them remember the past, but to help them feel it. Because remembrance is more than history, it's humanity, and it begins with empathy. Now please join me in welcoming to our stage the very most capable director, Ms. Samantha Jorgensen, and Ingleside's 7th and 8th choir, our guest musicians, our dancers, whose music and movement guide us through memory, awaken compassion, and celebrate the enduring hope of the human spirit.
On this train we'll ride. I'll be right by your side. You must hold on tight. We will be all right. We'll sing some nursery rhymes.
Sight in your life as three.
My sweet little dove, when the wind stops, your cradles will rise. You'll sleep in the heavens, we'll meet at sunrise.
Sometimes the people we're meant to meet find their way to us, not by chance, but by something greater. When nearing completion of Lost Nursery Rhymes of Innocent Children, I felt a pull on my heart to find and connect with a child Holocaust survivor. I didn't know who that would be or how it might happen. All I knew was that I wanted to listen, I wanted to learn, and to create something meaningful through music. One afternoon, while browsing in a Goodwill store in Fountain Hills, I picked up a small, well-worn book entitled A Boy's Story, A Man's Memory, and the author was Oskar. I brought it home, I began reading, and within days I was completely immersed, moved to tears by his courage, his kindness, and his faith in humanity. At the end of the book, I noticed an email address. With a little fear, but a lot of hope, I wrote to Oskar. The very next day, I was to learn that Oskar was scheduled to speak at Scottsdale Community College, and by what seemed pure coincidence, as my husband and I were in Arizona that week, I no longer believe in coincidences. Call it fate, call it destiny. I choose to call our first meeting divine intervention. Oskar was gracious and warm from the very first moment, and he invited my husband and I to lunch another day. From that moment on, a friendship was born. One, as he says, was meant to be. Through his love for people and our shared love of music, our lives became beautifully entwined. Over the years, Oskar has challenged me, inspired me, and gently nudged me forward whenever I felt doubt creeping in. More than once, he reminded me with his signature phrase, "If it's meant to be, then it's up to me." His words became the heartbeat of this next piece, entitled Up to Me, and because it's dark, I'm going to read you the lyrics. Long ago, behind a wall in Poland, he walked through fire, he walked through pain, in skies of ash, in cold and rain. A star was born, they stole his name. He rose from loss, he rose from shame. They tried to break his will, they could not. Dreams he sought, he held on to the truth. The world must see that hate will fail, that love runs free, no place for hate. I've lived to see the love in me. 100 years, and he still stands with grace the world will understand. Now love and hope his heart commands, no place for hate, no place for hate. We choose our fate, it's not too late, no place for hate. Remember this when stories fade and history shade. Speak my name, say my name. Now sing with me and light my flame. Make sure the world won't look away. Look away. If it is meant to be, then it begins with me. I'm still here. I will remain. Now it's up to you. Tonight, as we celebrate Oskar's 100th birthday, this music honors not only his century of life, but his lifelong message that everyone has the power and the responsibility to make a difference. This composition completes what has now become 4 movements of Holocaust music, and I believe this final piece to be the most important of all, because it carries forward Oskar's legacy of hope, courage, and the belief that each of us can be an upstander. Oskar, this piece is for you in celebration of your 100 years, your wisdom, your smile and laughter, and unwavering light. You showed us all that if it's meant to be, then it's up to me, and ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you.
so much for coming tonight. Can you give a round of applause to Oskar? He's incredible. And now that you're standing, you get to sing happy birthday with us.